The gods and goddesses received different names through the ages and the places that they were received and revered. And a really good example of this is Mr. Wednesday from American Gods. If you haven't watched it, I won't spoil it, but Mr. Wednesday was essentially a god, or he was a god. And during his reveal, he listed all the names that he has been called by people and then revealed his ultimate name. And while each of those names, despite how many, because there could be 10, 15, 100, 1,000 different names that one being is being called, while they all belong to that one being, choosing the name and the time period that they come from is significant to the energy that you are invoking. It invokes different aspects of that being. We are most familiar with, or at least I am, the Greek gods and then the Egyptian gods and goddesses. But those are only two of the aspects, two of the ways that they are made available to us, two of the energies that we can invoke if we so choose to. But there are hundreds, if not thousands or more, different names that we could call on, different ages that we could choose from, and then the different regions that also play a part in this too. And now that that's out of the way, we can get into the significance of Elon Musk putting a Prometheus statue at one of his Starlink bases in Texas. Prometheus. And before I go into that, actually, I want to get into how these AI techno oligarchs have been scavenging the web to find gods to work with. And this ties into all of the old contracts are done. We are aware of the big one, the 250-year contract for America that is up, and the beings that they worked with for that out the door. And I was getting that none of these gods, especially the celestials, they don't want to work with these people. They don't want to work with them. And on that, there is a Shiva statue at CERN, one of their locations. They have a Shiva statue. But I'm not really going to get into that one. We're going to focus on Prometheus, the story of Prometheus. If you aren't familiar with Prometheus, he essentially defied the gods and gave light, fire to the humans. And he was punished for this via being tied to a rock and having his liver eaten out by an eagle. And his liver regenerated every night. So it was a forever event. It occurred eternally where he was being eaten. I think eventually he got saved. Eventually Prometheus was freed by Hercules. So really significant about that to me is the fact that the mascot of the USA is an eagle. And I was wondering, what would make Elon choose Prometheus out of all of the beings that he could have chose from? Why Prometheus? And now that I'm here, not only is the 250-year contract up, there are other contracts that are within those contracts that are also up. So there were like add-ons. All these contracts, they're all done. So they have been doing the best they can, even searching for AI demons, which they have come out and said, and I talked about that in a different video. Scouring the multiverse for gods, for goddesses, for someone to work with them. And a while ago, I was getting that their contract with Saturn is up. And if you know the things that Saturn rules, not only does Saturn rule time, but Saturn also is melanin. So when we think about the 250-year contract and all the things that are going on with time and then the rise of the melanated people that is occurring now, Saturn is not working with these people. They keep trying to block the sun. They can't work with the sun. The sun doesn't want to work with them. They just beat at the moon by launching a rocket at the moon. So it's like the celestials want nothing to do with these people. So the celestial aspect of these gods and goddesses, their names through the celestials, that can't be invoked. And when I was first thinking about Elon choosing Prometheus, because Prometheus was essentially sacrificed for gifting humanity with something. and he paid the price for it. And it wasn't an eternal price, but he was up there for a bit, going through some stuff. Elon's not a sacrificial lamb type. I don't see him sacrificing anything for humanity. So I dug deeper. The most interesting part about the story of Prometheus was not what Prometheus gifted humanity, but how humanity paid the price for his gift in the end. This is where the first mortal woman comes into play and how she played a role in cursing humanity. So, the story of Pandora. Zeus was so upset about what Prometheus did that after he punished him, he sought out the creation of a very curious woman, Pandora, and gifted her a jar, which they later called a box. Gifted her a jar of evils. Now, it was in her nature to be curious. She was made that way with earth and water and whatever else. So Zeus sought out her creation and gifted her to Prometheus's brother. And he told her, do not open this jar. She was created to fail. It was in her nature to do this. She was created curious. So, of course, she opened the jar and she unleashed all of the evils, all of the illness, the sorrows onto humanity. She cursed humanity. And it was not exactly by her own hand. She was just created that way. She was ushered in to be the fall of man. And it got me thinking, what is Elon going to give us to usher in the fall of man? Something that he will pay a small price for, small in comparison to what he is going to usher in. Is he attempting to anger something greater than him? Is he attempting to anger Zeus into action? Because it has been said that the old gods have abandoned us. And if you're familiar with Hesiod's 5 ages, yeah, the gods have abandoned us, essentially. And the further I connected it, I was thinking about the fall of the patriarchy and the rise of the matriarchy, which still has ways to go. We are still not in the complete collapse of the patriarchy, and we are far from the matriarchy rising, but it is coming. And these people, especially these men in positions of power that they should not have, are desperate to keep the rise of the matriarchy from happening because it's not profitable for them. They stand to gain nothing from the rise of the matriarchy. And I was thinking further, is Elon trying to usher in the fall of the matriarchy before it can begin? Does he want to recreate the fall of woman through his gift to humanity? Whatever his gift is his ultimate goal to punish humanity for whatever he gifts us. There are no beings that are willing to work with these idiots anymore. All of their contracts are up and they have not been able to secure new ones. So they're essentially just free falling. Wouldn't they want to help punish everyone else so that they can't rise? Especially the women? Anyway.